philosophy of Division III seeks the well-rounded student athlete, one whose athletic ability is balanced by a commitment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started with the program in just about 10 minutes. So if you need to grab a dessert or excuse yourself for a moment, you've got just about 10 minutes.
One who is a contributing member of the community, not just within the campus boundaries, but as a part of the larger whole of society. This is the kind of balanced excellence that the Gagliardi Trophy is meant to recognize. It's the most prestigious honor in Division III football, taking into account a young man's commitment in all three phases of the game of life: athletics, academics, and community service. Matt Blanchard, Alex Tanney, Fritz Waldvogel, and Michael Zwiefel have all of that and more. And in the next hour, one of them will win the trophy that carries the name of the winningest coach in college football history, John Gagliardi. Welcome to the Gagliardi Trophy Banquet and Announcement Show. I'm Pat Coleman of D3Football.com, joined by Frank Rossi and Jimmy Gagliardi of St. John's University. And Frank, when the list of 10 candidates was released, these four names, the four finalists, were the names that naturally floated to the top in my mind. How do you see this field shaping up?
Well, I really believe that when you look at the balance overall of the voters across the country, the fact that you have four West region candidates should speak for itself in that there is no regional bias in the list of four finalists here. These top four vote getters basically proved their stuff on and off the field, and I think it's very representative of just how good they are. In fact, I really don't know how to handicap this field overall. It's a tough one to pick one out of these four to say, yeah, that's my favorite here.
Jimmy, this award bears your dad's name. Your dad, the head coach for decades and decades at St. John's.
Centuries, I think,
yeah, they've been the offensive coordinator for years and years yourself. Tell us a little bit about the inception of the award and what it means to the Gagliardi family and the St. John's community.
Well, I think, it's probably less important to him, but it is a great legacy to have. I think when this, when the Gagliardi Trophy was brought out, I think the idea was that maybe he'd retire pretty soon and it would go on and be part of the legacy of him and what he's accomplished. Fortunately, he hasn't, and he's built a tremendous record. We're very, very proud of him, and for our family, like I said, we're very proud of this trophy, and it's something we'll be able to talk to our kids, our grandkids about, and maybe someday a Gagliardi will win a Gagliardi Trophy, huh?
And you've had an opportunity to be here for many of the recent trophy ceremonies, and have you had a chance to meet the finalists in this year?
Yeah, I just I get to meet three of them and spend some time with them. Michael Zwiefel. I've been saying Zwiefel forever, and I guess it's Zwiefel.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that, but I get a chance to meet Michael and Alex, and of course Fritz is from our conference, so we're all well aware of him. So, I don't know where Matthew's been all week, but I guess apparently he's been busy with trying to get the team ready to win a national championship. So I did meet him just now before this event, but did get a chance to spend some time with the other three, and they're all tremendous people.
And let's take a moment to look through and see all four finalists to acquaint you with their credentials both on and off the field. And starting, as Jimmy mentioned, with Matt Blanchard. He is the quarterback of the University of Wisconsin Whitewater, his Warhawks team here, with the intent of winning a national championship, which would make it the third consecutive season for the Warhawks. For Matt Blanchard, this is his first year as a starter in the Stag Bowl. He is returning from an injury suffered last year as the playoffs began. He's trying to lead his team in the Stag Bowl for the first time. Fifth nationally in passing efficiency. He's thrown 23 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions in 14 games. Off the field, a phys ed major, emphasis on K through 12 with a 3.1 GPA. He participates in youth and senior citizen programs, and he's an active volunteer in Special Olympics and Relay for Life.
I was talking to Matthew just a little bit ago. I guess he's going to start student teaching next spring, so he's obviously winding up there with his college career. I think he'll be a successful coach for himself probably someday.
Now, I'm guessing that Alex Tanney, our next finalist, that YouTube video made its way out to Minnesota and all the other 50 states in a big way. Got him on some national shows. We'll talk about that in a second. But Alex Tanney, the senior quarterback from Monmouth College from Normal, Illinois, he actually had to rebound himself from a 2010 injury that, after being a 2009 Gagliardi Trophy finalist in the West region, he came back this year and basically rewrote some record books and then some. D3 career passing TD record of 156. He's ranked 3rd nationally in passing efficiency with just under a 182, and 4th in passing yards per game at 322.25, and passed for 38 touchdowns and just 8 interceptions.
Yeah, he's ahead of Case Keenum, the University of Houston quarterback for now. Keenum has a bowl game yet to go. He could pass him for all-time leading quarterback touchdown thrower in history.
Yeah, all divisions. That would be quite the feat right there. Off the field, as we said, West Region finalist for the Gagliardi Trophy in 2009. That trick shot quarterback, just go to YouTube if you haven't seen it already and look up trick shot quarterback. Some amazing stuff there. It claims he didn't have to reshoot it too many times. I don't know. Some of those are tough throws he made there, Pat.
Well, I'll tell you too. He's going to be on the History Channel sometime later this winter or early spring, so we'll know even more.
There you go.
I tell you, that was a great video. All of us saw it up. I think it made its way through, and I think it was something that kind of brought some more a little spotlight to Division III, and yeah, it was outstanding. I got to ask him how he did some of those throws, but that was certainly a fun show.
We were going to ask him to throw some footballs back here, but with everything around here, it might not be too safe. His major is business with just over 3 GPA, and assists at the YMCA and a local elementary school near Monmouth College.
Now, was his brother a finalist as well a few years ago? I know we ran into him in the playoffs a number of years ago.
Well, Mitch Taney was a standout starting quarterback at Monmouth. Indeed, led his team to the playoffs. There's another brother who was a finalist. Matt Blanchard's brother, Derek Blanchard, was a finalist when he was a starting offensive lineman for Mount Union back in the earlier part of this decade.
All in the family.
Fritz Waldvogel of the University of St. Thomas, senior wide receiver and kick returner, first ever 2-time MIAC Player of the Year, both this season and 2 seasons ago as a sophomore. He's a dual threat as a receiver and as a kick returner, including a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the playoff game against Monmouth. And he started in a school record 50 games, and St. Thomas went 43-7 in those contests. Off the field, he's a finance major with a 3.60 GPA. He's a first-team COSIDA Academic All-District and now on the national ballot for Academic All-American. He's a frequent volunteer at food drives, fundraisers, and community cleanup efforts, and the All-State AFCA Good Works team nominee from St. Thomas as well. And Jimmy, I know this is a guy that you've seen quite a bit of.
Yeah, we're glad he's done. He was out on our campus when he was a senior in high school, and somehow we didn't corral him, and he escaped us. So he looked a lot better in red, I think. No, Fritz did an outstanding job. He's I can't say enough about him. He's a huge threat every time he touches the ball. Like you said, you got to tell your kickers and punters to kick the ball away from him. He's not a guy you want to have an opportunity to some open field to return the ball.
Previewed his video earlier, kind of an emotional video. You'll want to stay tuned for that as we go up to the dais soon. But first, let's talk about our 4th finalist, Michael Zwiefel from the University of Dubuque. He's a senior wide receiver. They're from Whitewater, Wisconsin. We'll talk about that in a moment, I'm sure. On the field, he was the Division III leading receiver in touchdowns with 25, receiving yards per game with 174 and change, and receptions per game with over 13.5 per game. Wow. That's just amazing.
And it's not as if they throw the ball to him exclusive of everybody else. They have a great running back in Justin Spalding, DeMarcus Fleming, opposite wide receiver on the other side, and Miles Hookstead, the tight end. They had a lot of offensive weapons for Wyatt Haynes, the quarterback this year.
And he led the University of Dubuque to its first Iowa Conference title in 31 years. And I checked this one earlier just to validate it. It's true, and by a mile, really. His 450 career receptions are the most in NCAA history, all divisions. He's a health, wellness, and recreation major with a 3.9 GPA, president of the campus Student Athlete Advisory Committee and Senior Gift Committee chairman, and volunteer for Special Olympics. All these guys have a lot of public service, to say the least. It's like comparing your favorite children here when you get down to that. Jimmy, you are a voter, obviously. Or
I'm not a voter.
Actually, I'm not sure
You're
that's
not
true.
a voter. I'm sorry.
No.
But you are a voter.
There we go.
If you were a voter, what would you look at in terms of on the field versus off the field? And Pat can tell us what he does look at when he does vote.
Well, you want a person that is going to represent, just like you do when you recruit an athlete, you want someone that's going to represent your team both on and off the field in a first-class way as much as possible. And I think the greater the player, the more important it is to be a super person and a great human being, because that we see the Tebow effect. Just think of if he could complete some more passes, how that would take into account. So I think you want to root for those kind of people, and this is what Division III football is all about. One note about Michael is that I didn't know this, and it hasn't been written about as far as I know, is he played both ways for him.
Yeah, he did.
And he did have an interception this year, so does that technically give him an extra catch in there? I'm not sure. But
we'll put an asterisk
you know,
on
I
it,
think
so.
pretty good cover defensive back, and had number tackle. So he's, you know, you don't see that very often either, and that's another.
Yep, they needed him on defense this year, and he was not just a cover corner. He was definitely coming up in run support as well.
Pat, what do you look at when you put your ballot in?
I think mostly we are told as voters to remember first and foremost it's a football award. So football performance on the field is most important to me. I just want to make sure that a kid has, you know, a minimum basics in terms of his community service and his GPA, just to make sure that he's fulfilling those other two aspects of the award, because to be honest with you, this is the biggest football award there is in Division III, and it needs to reflect on the field as much as possible, I think.
It is not the Heisman, but you know, there is a lot of the components of the Heisman type voting, but we do put in the whole total package of a student athlete when we look at this award. We also want to pay homage to the other 6 of the top 10. I guess we call them the 5th through 10th place finalists. And we have Peter Vielander, senior defensive tackle from North Central. Alex Ferreira, who's actually in attendance tonight, senior defensive back from Mount Union. Chris Haupt, the junior quarterback from Widener, only junior, I believe, in the top 10. Dan Pitcher, senior quarterback, SUNY Cortland. Alex Theory, senior quarterback, St. Scholastica. And Hewitt Tomlin, the senior quarterback from Johns Hopkins. A little quarterback-centric, I guess, this year.
Well, I think most years it's like that. There's quarterbacks, offensive skill positions, a couple of defensive guys, and you know, that's the way the Heisman Trophy works out as well too. It's just the flashy positions get the recognition, I think.
And Jimmy, I mean, again, overall, you can't fault the top 10, the top 4 in this situation. Let me ask you one thing, though. What do you think of this whole bringing the top 4 down and introducing them to the area, introducing them to everybody, meeting them yourselves? We talked about you meeting them, 3 of the 4 at least earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of this new change?
I like it. It gives them a chance to get here. You know, I think that the only difficult thing is 3 of them going to walk away without it, and you know, obviously, I think it's a great honor for them to be nominated and then, you know, be one of the 4 finalists. That's saying something, but you know, it might be a little more difficult for them, you know, to walk away. So and get their family here, it's expensive, but you know, I think for the winner, it's sensational. It's a great surprise for them, and that's how it's done.
And we've got a great ceremony ahead. Momentarily, we'll be joining Mike Stevens, our MC tonight on the dais, and Keith McMillan of D3Football.com will be interviewing each of the 4 finalists, so you'll get to hear their answers in their own words. There will also be both a highlight video and an interview video of each of the 4 finalists as well. So for Jimmy Gagliardi and Frank Rossi, I'm Pat Coleman. You're here at the Gagliardi Trophy ceremony, and we'll be sending you to the podium shortly. And as we do that, we remind you that you know, this is a pretty big piece of hardware. I've tried to lift it. It's not. I know Frank works out, right?
Yeah,
so Frank's
kinda.
probably in better position to lift it than I am. But you know, this is a pretty significant piece of hardware, and it's a fun trophy.
Yeah, it definitely is, and a beautiful trophy, as you can see from our graphics earlier, and I'm sure we have a shot of it every so often.
Yeah, you can see
it on the screen right now. Beautiful, heavy, probably about, I would say, what about
60-something.
pounds? I'll try it later, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it is a heavy trophy, and it is one that they actually have to ship home, because this is not one that's going to go easily on an airplane in any way, shape, or form. So they don't really technically take it with them tonight. They will have it shipped to them. This is the second year we're doing it live like this, so you know, it's a learning experience for everybody, but nonetheless, this has been a fun event. Last year and this year, we got to meet some of the finalists ourselves as the day has gone on, and nowhere else I'd rather be than here in Salem this week, especially with this event.
And we're going to send you up to the dais for Mike Stevens.
And this is a huge, huge day for the Salem Civic Center and the Talaferro Complex. There's a big high school football banquet taking place upstairs. There have been numerous other events. So let's give the staff here a big round of applause before we get going. I also would like to give a big thanks to the gentleman located to my immediate left. That is Mike Callison with Jostens. And let's give a big round of applause to Jostens for the sponsorship of this award. Mike, thank you for being with us tonight. Next up on the program, representing the St. John's J Club, please welcome Mr. Tom Woodward.
Good evening. This is the 19th year that we've been presenting the Gagliardi Trophy to the most outstanding football player in NCAA Division III. All of us who embrace the philosophy of D3 appreciate this long-standing partnership among Jostens, the J Club of St. John's University, the Salem Rotary Club, and our hosts at the Salem Civic Center. The trophy program was launched in 1993 as John Gagliardi approached his 300th victory as a college football coach, joining elite company like legends Pop Warner, Bear Bryant, and Eddie Robinson. Along the way, John had won 3 national football championships as head coach at St. John's. Here we are in 2011. John now has an incredible 484 career victories, and in 2003, won his 4th national championship right here in Salem. Let's take a few minutes, please, to see a video that tells us more about the man behind the trophy, and then we'll hear from John's son, Jim, who works alongside his dad as St. John's offensive coordinator for our football team.
By their job occupation. I don't mean even to call. I just don't think that people should be called by their job occupation. I don't want them even to call me coach. Some do, but I really don't like being called coach. I'd rather be called John.
I think from when you start here, it's part of football and part of the community in general is the exact things that the Gagliardi Trophy kind of represents. From John specifically, that there's more to life than the academics, and there's more to life than football and athletics. You learn that what you do and how you affect other people is as important or more important than anything else you can do.
I'm John Gagliardi, longtime coach here at St. John's. All college campuses, in particular, I think Division III, they're the national gems. For example, on most Division III teams, there are no scholarships. They're all students, and they're all great places, campuses, and so to being exposed there and to get through college in a lot of tough colleges, they have to be equipped to do it, and the fact that they get it done just shows that they're going to succeed in life.
So there I was a senior in high school at age 16, 1943. The World War II was going on, and every able-bodied guy is gone. Our coach, I don't know whether he enlisted or drafted, I don't know what happened to him, but they were going to drop football because they didn't have anybody to replace him. A lot started because of the way I approached it as what you might call a player coach. We don't have no practice apparatus, no blocking sleds, no nothing. We just have people. No blocking dummies, tackling dummies. Matter of fact, we're not going to tackle anybody anyway. I'm sure that no one else in the history of football has gone through a season, let alone 20 or 30 seasons, without ever making a tackle on a practice field. And probably the biggest reason we do it is to prevent injuries. You know, most people protect their quarterbacks and their star receivers, but I figure, well, you know, the other players, they all are human beings, and they all have mothers who love them and don't want them to get hurt. So we try to protect them all.
He's an interesting man. He's taken a road and an approach that's not traditionally been accepted for success, and I think that's ultimately a tribute to him. And so I think that his unique approach really teaches you that there's a lot of different ways that you can be successful, and it doesn't always have to be the mainstream way.
I don't know that I contribute anything. It's a fact that somehow I think I don't screw them up too much because they come here as quality people.
Everybody's got gifts that they have, and certainly all the nominees for the Gagliardi Trophy have a lot of gifts, and those gifts are partially athletic, partially academic, but also more important, or as important, would be their community service and what they can do to give back and help others. His approach, the way he approaches football and the lessons he teaches on the football field transcend football. They're more than just how you can be successful on Saturday afternoon. They're how to be successful every day of the week and for the rest of your life.
There are a lot of good football players in this country. Every high school's got a couple of guys that are very, very good. So the colleges get all these very, very good high school players, and when you get bona fide student athletes, they're good people. It helps the college. We've always been blessed with those kind of people, and hopefully will continue to be.
Well, you know, the first thing I want to say is obviously a great thank you here to Jostens and Mike Callison here. Jostens does so much for this award. We're so proud of it as a family. And again, we appreciate everything you do, Mike. And also, you know, some of you players out here from Whitewater Mount Union, you've been here now for, you know, half a century yourself coming here. You don't realize how important this city is and how, you know, I mean, they do a great job, but there's one guy here, Kerry Harvey Cutter, does an outstanding job every year. And Kerry, where are you? Right there. You know, he does an outstanding job. We realized that when he sent us one of our championship games, he sent us to Raleigh, then to Greensboro, all over the place. Don't know why he didn't let us land here, but he didn't. You know, we got these tremendous finalists up here, and I had a chance to spend a lot of time with three of them. One of them, I don't know what he's been doing all week, preparing to win a championship, I guess. That's not a bad deal. But it tells you the caliber of guys here we get. You know, you're going to get a chance to meet all of them. Tremendous, tremendous. You know, and one of the things I guess I was most surprised with is all of them have something special. And again, once you get a chance to meet them, you'll see that. But outstanding group of kids. And then there's, you know, one guy that's here, and he's probably not going to, he probably should be up here. But I just want to, you know, Alex Ferrara, are you out here? Why don't you stand up? He's also a finalist here. Congratulations, and you know, outstanding. And then there's, you know, we got a Mount Union guys. I got to bring one Whitewater guy into this as well. Is Lavelle Coppage here? Why don't you stand up real quick? You know, he's got a lot to thank us at St. John's for. I think he got his. Gosh darn, we're playing at Whitewater, and we're having a whale of a game. We're hanging with these guys the first half. He replaces a pretty good running back, you know, well, he didn't. Another guy replaced a pretty good running back by the name of Justin Beaver, who won this award. And all of a sudden, this other running back shows up there, Antoine Anderson, and God, he's really good. He gets hurt in our game. We think hey, this is great. We got this game. We could play with these guys now with that running back out. God dang it. This freshman comes in, Lavelle Coppage. Never heard of him before that, but he runs all over us. And I don't know, he probably had about 600 yards in that one game against us. But, you know, tremendous, and he's obviously had a great career as well. I don't want to waste any more time here. Again, from our family, John, he congratulates all you guys, and anytime you get a chance to stop by campus, do that. Fritz, not you. You stay away, unless you bring your little brother. We've seen enough for Fritz. So, but again, thank you. Thanks, Salem. Thanks, Jostin. Appreciate that.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Really appreciate all your family has done to make this award possible as well. Now is the fun part of the evening. And the great thing about this is there probably aren't a handful of people in this room who have any idea who has won this award tonight. I can tell you I have no idea. I can tell you also that I did have the good fortune of seeing two of the finalists play last week in person in Whitewater, and both those guys, haven't talked to them tonight, are just great young men, as are the other two. We've had a chance to just visit for a few minutes. You're going to get a chance to not only see a story about these individuals produced by their own colleges, but you're also then going to have a real personal feel as they are going to sit down with D3 football national columnist Keith McMillan on our one-on-one set and do 4 or 5 questions after their video plays. So you'll have a chance to really meet these young men and find out something about them. What I'm going to do at this time is ask our 4 finalists, Matthew Blanchard from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, Alex Tanney from Monmouth College, Fritz Waldvogel from the University of St. Thomas, and Michael Zwiefel from the University of Dubuque. If you guys will head to that side of the set, there are some chairs prepared for you, and Matthew, you will be the first gentleman in the hot seat. And as Keith and Matthew get settled in, again, our format will be we'll watch the video first, and as the video finishes up, then Keith and Matthew will first do some questions, and then we'll introduce the next video. And the videos will serve as the formal introduction for our 4 finalists. So, Matthew, you and Keith can sit down and relax, along with the rest of us, as we watch the video for our first finalist, Matthew Blanchard from Wisconsin-Whitewater.
Established quarterback in Jeff Donovan, and Matt accepted that role, competed every day to get better. And then when it was his turn, he really blossomed.
Whenever I'm watching Matt, I always know that there's a chance that we can score on that very play because he is that good of a player.
Matt is the most competitive person I know. Darts to basketball to the football field and practice field, he's very competitive. He's a great leader, he's a great player. When Matt got hurt in our last game, last year against La Crosse, no one knew really how bad it was until a few days later. And by that time, he sucked it up and he knew what he had to do now for the team, and he was still one of our biggest leaders.
It was a growing experience, extremely humbling. I always tell people that I've really grown as a person because of it.
I think it's carried over to this season because he understands the significance of every game that he plays.
And that was very tough, and I don't know if a young man, a competitive student athlete, could have handled it any better than how Matt handled it.
I think Matt, is an outstanding student of the game, and I think that's one of the qualities for me as the offensive coordinator that really sticks out.
There's always fundamental skills to work on as a quarterback. Really, I just always try to expand my knowledge of the game, watch a ton of film, analyze defenses, focus on footwork, arm strength, getting stronger, getting faster, all the physical attributes.
To be a good leader, you have to lead by example. And every workout and every practice that Matt is a part of, he's going 100%.
I've never seen a harder working kid in my life. Matt is the kind of kid that he's always the first one there and the last one to leave. In the classroom, everything. He's just a great competitor. And then at the same time, he's, one of your best friends.
And I think that's why we've gotten to where we are, because of leaders like Matt.
would always say, oh, I'm a top 4 finalist and everything like that. And I was like, maybe someday I'll get there, And I was just hoping our team would stay successful and hopefully someday maybe an opportunity like this would arise. He's led the way, and I really can't thank him enough for everything he's done for me. And he and I just have the closest relationship in the world, and I'm truly blessed to have him in my life.
We see that it's important that our students indeed are students first and athletes second. And Matt Blanchard is an example of a student who has done well in the classroom, and he has also done exceptionally well on the athletic field.
This is such a short legacy that we have here that you really want to make the most of your opportunities. And the fact that, I wanted to make sure I reached out to people and make sure that, they don't really remember me as a football player per se, but for the type of person that I was.
As I watch him interact with so many people, including my own children, he's just everything that you'd hope you'd want your student athletes to be, and someday I'd hope that my son would grow up to be like Matt Blanchard, and if that would be the case, I think my wife and I would be awfully proud.
Matt, you saw it up there. The very last stat they put up there for you was a 24-0 record as a starting quarterback. When is the last time a team quarterbacked by you lost a game?
Oh, geez. I got to think back. Probably the 2008 Stag Bowl here. Jeff Donovan probably was the last loss.
I mean, did you play in high school? Was that the last time you've lost a game?
Yeah, the last time. That's well, my Northern Michigan years. We lost a few there, but yeah, definitely.
You mentioned your brother in the piece. Is it safe to assume that at one point you rooted for Mount Union?
I did. I definitely rooted for Mount Union. For through 2005 through 2007. I came to every Stag Bowl, sat on Mount Union's sideline. I have all the respect in the world for their program. I saw firsthand what they can do, and I love Mount Union because my brother loved them. So,
your brother a lineman, you're a quarterback. Was it because did you learn to throw? I guess you didn't learn to throw from him, but did you not have the lineman size, or did?
No, it was actually my dad who taught me who really encouraged me to play quarterback. It was something that I wanted to do going into high school. It was something that I had a huge passion for, and he was the one that kind of gave me that little extra push to get better and play that position.
What are you most proud of so far in your Whitewater career?
Probably just the team wins. 24-0 as a starter. That's something great right there. The fact that we as a team have had the success that we've had. It's awesome, and it's a total team effort, and that's the thing I'm most proud of.
All right, here's the last question I have for you. Have you given any thought to how you could possibly fit the Gagliardi Trophy and the Walnut and Bronze Trophy in your luggage on the airport?
I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. I'll talk with Coach Leipold about that if that happens, but we'll see.
Well, good luck for not just tonight, but on Friday as well.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Keith. Next up, let's get to know Alex Tanney from Monmouth College.
Out to the left, he's going to the end zone. He's got Spencer Brown caught, end zone in the back. That's Spencer Brown with a touchdown. He's going to go deep. He's got Blanchard open in the end zone. He gets a foot in. That's going to be a touchdown. Blanchard. That's going to be another touchdown for Alex Tanney. Blanchard tandem.
I got to know Alex as soon as he arrived on campus, and that's not necessarily true of all students. I got to know Alex early on because I knew both of his older brothers who were student athletes. And so it kind of stands out when you say, oh, this was the third Tanny that I worked with in an educational situation.
I first had Alex in my class about 2 years ago. I could tell that Alex had a keen interest in how things were done in the real world versus the theory that was being taught at school. That's been a really important part, I think, of his education.
Because of his own internal motivation and his own level of expectation that he has about himself, he's been able to achieve things that I don't know if I would have, when he first got here, I would have expected him to be at that point. He's got something in his heart that drives him past.
In Division III, the goal is for student athletes to blend in with the overall student body, give them a chance to be really students, not just athletes. But when you're Alex Tanny, and you're 6'4" and 220 pounds of NFL proportions, and you have 1 million hits on your trick shot video, it's hard to be anonymous in Illinois.
To me, that level of consistency is what kind of separates him from a lot of different individuals. There's really no ups and downs. It's a very level-headed. This is what I expect of myself, and this is what I'm going to hopefully be able to produce, week in and week out. And again, as a coach, that's extremely, extremely comforting knowing that you're going to get a certain level of play every day.
Alex has gained the kind of knowledge and leadership experiences that's given him more to say. And that's helped mentor a lot of young people. Some of them are on the football field, some of them are in the classroom.
And to me, that's leadership. Can you take someone from where they're at this point and bring them up to a level that they probably couldn't have done by themselves? So that brought to the forefront what Alex has been able to do here at Monmouth College. He's taken kids that obviously are very talented individuals on their own right, but elevated their expectation levels to help them achieve maybe above and beyond what they normally would have by themselves.
His success on the field and his success as a person has given him that credibility.
That you have to put the time and the effort in to expect the results that you want, and I think he hopefully has bought into that, and I think he has, and that will continue to help him be successful once he's out of the game of football.
Alex, you have a pretty strong family connection to Monmouth College. Would you like to tell everybody a little bit about that?
Yeah, my dad graduated in '79, was a basketball player, and then my brother transferred from Wabash in 2004 and played the 2004 and 2005 seasons. They won a conference championship his senior year.
When you watch your brother play and saw how good he was, I'm assuming he's somebody that you looked up to when you were younger. Did you ever think you would be able to even surpass what he did?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a role model for me growing up. I've kind of grown up around the game with my dad being a coach too, so, I had a love of the game at a young age. But, I looked up at him when he was in high school, and, I was in grade school, and then that followed to Monmouth, and I think that's ultimately why I came to Monmouth.
You guys made the playoffs this season, and you played a triple overtime playoff game. Tell us about the excitement of going through not just one overtime, but 2 and 3, and then ultimately winning that game.
Yeah, I think it was a great win for our program, moving in the right direction. The CCIW is a pretty good conference. We were able to compete coming from a smaller conference, so I thought it was a good win. And, it was also good because I was able to get back close to home, so I had a lot of family and friends that were able to attend that game.
Now one thing they didn't mention in the piece was the trick shot video that you became famous for. Tell us a little bit about, why you decided to do that video, and did you expect it to be quite as big as it was?
Yeah, we had no idea it was gonna, take off like it did. It was just me and a couple of my buddies just kind of goofing around. Somebody had posted the kid from UConn's on my Facebook, so that was kind of where we got the idea. But it ended up being a pretty good experience. It was good exposure, and it was also good exposure for the college and Division III football as well, I thought.
And in the video, among other things, you throw the ball into a moving truck, into a basketball hoop. If I had a football here right now, could you hit any plate or any chair in here if you wanted to?
I'd like to think so. I mean,
what are your plans for after graduation?
I'm not sure. If football comes to an end, I'm definitely going to get into coaching. That's something I want to pursue, so we'll see what happens.
And what are you most proud of in your career?
I think just being fortunate to come back and play my 5th season after being injured last year. We had a group of guys, 4 or 5 guys, who were able to come back and win another conference championship, our 3rd one. So, just being able to win 3 conference championships and, having a great group of guys to go through school with is definitely something I'm most proud of.
And I should ask you this, too. When you've thrown as many touchdown passes as you've thrown in your career, over 150, almost 14,000 yards passing, do you have a favorite play or a favorite pass?
Yeah, I guess one comes to mind. Going all the way back to my sophomore year is the first conference championship we won. We had a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing at that time, and we had to drive down the field with about 2 minutes left, and we ended up hitting a big play to my roommate, actually, at the time, one of my best friends. So that was the clinch championships. It's definitely probably the best moment.
Well, congratulations on a standout career that we'll remember long after you move on, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Next up, Fritz Waldvogel from the University of St. Thomas Tommies. Let's watch his video.
In 4 years at St. Thomas, number 4, Fritz Waldvogel, has earned the right to ring the victory bell for Coach Glenn Caruso. He started his career catching a 10-yard pass on the second play from scrimmage.
Looking for Waldvogel at midfield, Fritz catches.
And 4 seasons later, Waldvogel and Caruso are still together, leading St. Thomas to another championship.
Looks to Fritz. He's going to throw it to him again. He's got a step on his man. Leaps in the air and makes a diving catch. Here's a bubble screen. It's caught by Waldvogel. 10. Fritz to the 5, and he's into the end zone. Another St. Thomas touchdown.
This group of guys are just a bunch of best friends. We just love being around each other. We just have a blast every day. Showing up, going to practice, and every week now we're just fighting for another week to stay together.
Waldvogel is the spark that ignites the Tommies, a 2-time All-American who holds school records for all-purpose, punt return, kickoff return, and receiving yards.
Tracy back to pass.
You got to pretend that it's your ball, and you got to go up there and you got to snag it.
Caught by Waldvogel between 2 defenders.
Or whatever Dakota throws up there, you just got to go up and get.
The coach says he loosens up the run game just standing on the field. But number 4 is more than that.
It comes on a Tuesday practice, or it comes on a Friday walkthrough, with his focus, with his standard that he holds himself to, which is quite uncanny. Here's a kid who is among the best players in the nation, and yet he works like he's a backup.
In the classroom, Waldvogel is an academic All-American, a finance major with a 3.6 GPA.
I mean, you want that balance in your life. You don't want to be just a football player, because then I think that would, for me, that would just get a little boring. Be a good citizen, have good grades, and go to a great school like St. Thomas.
Outside St. Thomas, Waldvogel is an active volunteer, raising money for those with developmental disabilities, like his cousin Jimmy, who is autistic.
He's just such a bright kid. I mean, how smart he is, and even though sometimes it's hard for him to say it, you can just see it in his eyes. And now at his artwork, he's just a great artist now. And just seeing how he's grown throughout the years, since he was 10 years old, now he's 18. I feel blessed to have the type of people around me, and I'm able to have experiences like that.
When Waldvogel graduates in spring, he knows what he'll miss the most: his teammates.
It's a brotherhood. We're just a bunch of guys that just really love playing football together and going through life. And Coach Caruso is amazing with helping us become men.
And the coach knows what he's going to miss.
Who he is as a person, his drive, his work ethic, his mental toughness. He will go out into this community and he will make this world better.
Fritz, impressive stuff. The other 3 finalists each had family connections to the school that they ended up at. And before you went to St. Thomas, as is mentioned in the publication, they were 2 and 8, and you probably had your choice of schools in Minnesota. Why'd you pick St. Thomas?
I remember Coach Caruso sitting in our living room, and for some reason he was coming from McAllister College, who the time, and they're not a power by any means. But he just sat in my living room, and I just believed him, and all I did was promise us a better tomorrow, and I just wanted to, just thought we could go and build something great, and I think we're on the right path.
Yeah, when you look back, you guys are a national semifinalist, and 40-6, I believe, is the number during your career. Can you take yourself back to that moment when you bought in with Coach Caruso, and did you think it was going to go this well?
We like to think that we did, but after our first season, our freshman year, we were 7-3, and I think a lot of us were pretty ecstatic. We had a bunch of freshmen playing, and then every year we've gotten better, and every year we find ways to improve, and that's a product of Coach Caruso and the rest of the coaching staff always trying to get better, and hopefully the next year they'll just find something better to continue to get better.
There's a lot of guys in this building that play defense. I played defense myself, and would have killed just to score one touchdown or a couple touchdowns. You've scored almost 50 in your career, and you played 50 games, so almost won a game. Do you have one that stands out in your mind?
There's probably one. I like to think back to playoffs last year. We were playing at Linfield at home, and we had lost them the year before. And with second overtime, it was a really great game. They were a great team. And we scored, or I caught a pass in the back of the end zone, a 3rd and 10, to win us the game. And that's one of the things that I think was a big step in the direction for our program. And that's one that I'll remember for a long time.
Now you can score catching the ball, taking back kicks, taking back punts. Which way is the most fun?
They're all pretty fun. Yeah, I'd like to think so. But punt returns I always have a great time with because they're they're not planned a lot of times. You just kind of catch it and kind of run with it. So those are the ones that I probably enjoy the most.
Yeah, I always thought punt returning was the most dangerous too.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the most stressful, but it's the most fun once you get the ball.
Tell us a little bit about pennies for Porter Prince.
A couple of our buddies, Ben Wortman, who was a Gagliardi finalist last year, and I, after the earthquake in Haiti, decided we can go around campus and just raise some money and donate it to the Red Cross. So we just knocked on a bunch of dorm rooms and just asked for any change or whatever they got, and did it through a few days and raised almost $1,400 and donated it. And it was something fun we enjoyed doing. It was going to a good cause.
What do you think you remember most about your time at St. Thomas?
Probably, I would say the relationships, the touchdowns, all that stuff was great, but just the friendships that I built through my buddies back home in St. Thomas and the coaching staff. Those are things that would be fun going back to, going to the golf tournaments and stuff. Those are the things that I'm going to remember.
Congratulations on a wonderful career, and good luck on winning this tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Fritz. Our final finalist, Michael Zweifel from the University of Dubuque. Let's watch his video.
First of all, I just want to say how excited we are at the University of Dubuque that Michael Zweifel has a chance to be up for this award. And as we always say here at UD, that's really a reflection, we feel, on how well the team has done. And anytime the team does well, then sometimes individuals get recognized. But for Michael, this really is a culmination of years and years of hard work, both on the football field and off the football field. Preparation in the weight room, preparation in film study. But I would tell you probably the most satisfying part of all the things that have happened for Michael has been our transformation from a 2-8 team when he came aboard with us to winning the conference championship. He feels that's probably the greatest accomplishment that he's been involved in his athletic career. The records are going to probably mean a lot more to him as he gets older, but he has felt so good about being a part of a transformation of taking a last place team to taking it in first place in 3 years. We're just excited to be considered for the award. The University of Dubuque football team and the University of Dubuque is so grateful for all the things that have happened to our football team and Michael, and we're just humbled to be considered for the award.
Michael's obviously a very outstanding student athlete, both on the field and in the classroom. But to me, he's perhaps even greater is just his character as a person. I've worked in student affairs for 28 years, and it's always that rare combination when you see a great student and athlete. But Michael takes his accomplishments, his determination, his drive, his leadership off the field and out of the classroom as well. And I would say he's just very deserving of this award. I'm so honored to have the chance to be able to speak to you today And definitely endorse all that's good about Michael Zwiefel. He represents the very best of student athletes in Division III.
The University of Dubuque is an educational institution that is certainly focused on educational excellence and intellectual ability. But we're also really focused on the formation of character and people of good character and service, and certainly Michael Zwiefel embodies both of those. One of the most important things to understand about Michael, though, is he's a student first. He has a tremendous reputation on campus in the classroom, the cumulative grade point average of over 3.9. He's an academic All-American. He's an All-American. He's on the dean's list, and he's really quite a campus leader, involved in lots of activities, leadership groups, mentorship groups, and I could go on and on. I'm very proud to have this opportunity to shine the spotlight on Michael, and I know right at this very moment he's very uncomfortable with this kind of attention. So understand, Michael, that this attention comes to you because your team was successful. I know that you know that, we know that, and I know that you're going to graduate from here and go out and live a successful and meaningful life, which at its core is what we're about at the University of Dubuque. So God bless you, thank you. Do well, focus, stay disciplined, make a contribution, make a difference, and I would be remiss if I didn't conclude by saying, go Spartans.
Well, Michael, we may make you uncomfortable for a few more minutes here, but it shouldn't be too bad. You know, when you leaf through all the stats that you've put up, you know, becoming the all-time leading receiver in NCAA history, it's certainly pretty amazing. But I thought the number that stood out, and they mentioned it in the video, was the 3.9. Do you ever drop the ball?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Quite a bit.
I mean, a classroom, though, you take it very seriously?
Yeah, definitely. I love my major, health, wellness, and recreation, so you know, my classes, I'm enjoying them, I'm interested in them, so I don't see it as a burden to go to class, and I enjoy being in class, and I enjoy learning, and so it's just fun for me.
And what do you think that will lead to after graduation?
I'd really like to become a strength and conditioning coach at a college level, or open up like your own athletic training facility, something along those lines interests me a lot.
Coaching, I guess, is in the blood because of your dad?
Yeah, definitely coaching, just probably not sport coaching.
Now, did you always know you wanted to play for your dad, or did that just happen?
You know, it kind of just happened. Coming out of high school, I didn't really want to play for him. I wanted to, you know, go off and get away from home a little bit. But when he got the job at UD, it was kind of the best fit for me. It was kind of a no-brainer to, you know, go play for him. So, just worked out.
And when you have 450 catches in your career, can you possibly have a favorite one?
Probably favorite catch was probably back when I was at River Falls against Stevens Point. We kind of upset them. It was my sophomore year. The year they won conference, and we upset them, and I just had a big touchdown catch in that game, and I'll always remember that one.
What do you want to be remembered most for at the University of Dubuque?
Just a player who, you know, really works hard both on and off the field during the off season. Someone that was, you know, more of a, you know, someone you could watch and lead by example. That's basically it. Just someone who worked their butts off all 4 years.
And not only were you great on offense, but you were able to work in on defense and play both ways as well, sort of a throwback. How did that come about?
We had a few injuries in the secondary, and we had some young guys back there too. And so, I mean, just kind of, you know, midway through the season, we thought, you know, we had our depth back there wasn't so great, so just they threw me back there a little bit and just worked out. And all I had to do was really play corner and, you know, cover 3 and man, so it wasn't too bad.
Was it a tough learning curve for you?
You know, corner wasn't too bad. I mean, you know, I got the signs down and, you know, got the coverages pretty easily, but a couple of our blitzes confused me a little bit. You know, we got some different twists and stuff like that, and corners got different responsibilities, but it wasn't too bad.
How much would it mean to you to take this trophy back to the University of Dubuque?
It would mean a lot. I really would like to take this back to, you know, our team. It would definitely be a big thing for our team and our university, more than it would be, you know, individually for me, but it would just be a great honor. You know, we got so many great finalists here, and to be recognized with them is just incredible.
Well, congratulations on a great career. One we'll remember again, you know, for much longer than tonight. Appreciate it.
Keith, thank you so much. At this time, Michael, I'm going to get you to lead your other 3 finalists back over here so you guys can resume your seats at the head table. And as you're making your way back across the room, let's give Keith McMillan a big round of applause from D3 Football for handling our interviews for us tonight. Keith, we really appreciate that. At this time, for the trophy presentation, I'd like to bring forward Mr. Mike Callison of Jostens.
Thank you. As always, it's a great pleasure to be here tonight representing Jostens. I want to thank the Salem Rotary Club and the Gagliardi Trophy Committee for making this one of the most prestigious college football awards in the country. Also, congratulations to Mount Union and to Whitewater. I want you to know my favorite color is purple. And if your Jostens guys coming through the door next week, you know you're national champions. So good luck to both teams. And now for the 2011 Gagliardi Trophy winner from the University of Dubuque, Michael Zofil.
Wow. I just want to really thank the City of Salem and the Gagliardi Trophy Committee for just selecting me to be here. I've had a blast the last day and a half, getting to know these guys and hanging out with the other finalists. It's just been an incredible honor. I'm really humbled. I'd really like to thank the University of Dubuque and everybody associated with it. A special thanks to our president who's here tonight, Jeffrey Bullock, and his wife, Dana, and our executive of the board of directors, Joe Clapper and his wife, Linda. They're also here. I can't tell you how great it is to have the support from such high-ranking officials in our school. They are really committed to excellence and committed to our student athletes, and it's incredible the transformation our school's had the last 5-10 years because of these two people and the work they put in. Just incredible. I also like to thank our AD, Dan Runkle, and his wife, Deb, are here tonight, and everybody in our SID department who's done a great job, and without them, I wouldn't be here. Also, coaches, all the coaches I've had throughout the years. The head coach I've had the last 3 years, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of him, but other than that, the rest of them have been great. They've always given me a chance to be successful and put me in a position to succeed. And of course, my family, my aunts, uncles, grandma, and grandpa, and my cousins, they're a bunch of football crazies. They come from near and far to come to my games, and the incredible support I get from them, and I love them so much. And of course, my immediate family, my two sisters, older sisters, Shannon and Sari, and my younger brother, Mark. I mean, they truly are like my best friends in life, and I just love them so much. And I wish they were here with me tonight to, celebrate this, but I know they're watching online, and it's always great. And of course, my mom and dad. I can't tell you how great it is to have them here. The love and support they've had throughout the years is just incredible, and I have the best parents, and I just love them so much. And then last and not least, my teammates. I know a bunch of them have texted me out through the night and saying they're watching right now, and I love my teammates. I have the best teammates in the world. They're just awesome. And like it's been said earlier, football is truly the best team sport in the world, and any individual honor that comes out of football is really a reflection of the team, and so I just can't wait to get back to Dubuque and celebrate this award with the Spartan Nation. So thank you.
Mike, congratulations. We're going to have Michael and also Mike Callison from Jostens and Jimmy Gagliardi. We're going to have you go over with the trophy, and we'd like to get some pictures over there individually and then as a group. Want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. I really would like to, it really sounds wrong, but having talked to these guys up here, if you have a chance, they're no losers up here tonight. Believe me, these guys are all winners, and we're going to find out if one of them can play for a championship and bring it home tomorrow night. But all of these guys have just had great accomplishments, as we've seen on the video, and I think the thing that we should be most impressed with, there are a lot of great football players, but not everybody takes the time to do the community service and give back to their schools, their communities, and those less fortunate. And all four of you men need to be commended for that. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Stag Bowl weekend.
And so there you have it. Mike Zwiefel of the University of Dubuque is the winner of the 2001 Gagliardi Trophy, going to the top all-around student athlete in Division III football in terms of athletics, academics, and community service, and it is a well-deserving award. Someone asked me on Twitter who I thought would win it. This was the person who was number 1 on my ballot, but to be honest with you, any one of these 4 guys here would have been a great choice and very defendable. Absolutely, and Mike Zwiefel this year, just this year alone, we talked about some of the career numbers he's had, but 140 catches, 1,915 yards, 25 touchdowns. As Keith McMillan touched on in his interview, Mike played defense for them as well. He had an interception in a big game against Wartburg mid-season. He returned a fumble for a touchdown. He played pretty much everywhere they needed him to. He made 29 tackles. Often you see a guy who's a wide receiver come in, play a little bit of cornerback, and he's a cover guy, that sort of thing, and might knock away some passes, but isn't necessarily a big tackler. Mike Zwiefel did it all this year.
Well, Pat, you look at the record sheet that they sent out basically in his nomination form, and you see a full page of records. This lead ball player, to say the least, between his time at UW River Falls and at Dubuque. He alluded to his River Falls time and how actually his favorite catch came in a game against Stevens Point in an upset against Stevens Point in that game. But nonetheless, he came to Dubuque and really changed that program. First Iowa Conference championship in 31 years. I mean, just a litany of records. Completions in a game. I see 18 passes caught in a game. That's just unheard of. I mean, some running backs don't touch the ball that much in a game, and here's a wide receiver basically got to the ball 18 times.
Yeah, and he's a humble kid. I talked to him. I went down there late in the season when he was threatening the all-time Division III and all NCAA divisions career record for receptions. Got to talk to him after the game. First of all, that's the game in which he caught the 18 passes against Luther. It might not be the only game he caught 18 passes in his career, but that was one of them. And in front of a huge crowd on a great campus in Dubuque, Iowa. They've really turned football around there. But the thing was, he's surrounded by his family, first of all, because his dad, Stan Zwiefel, is the head coach and has been for the past 3 years there. But there's just everybody all over giving him praise, wanting to talk to him, and he's just so humble and grounded and down to earth. I was just really impressed.
Yeah, there's a lot to be impressed about there. I mean, looking back at his sheet that we showed in the pre-show, you look at 25 touchdowns in a season, 174 yards per game, and 13.68 receptions in a game. But the number that stands out, Keith McMillan pointed to it on the stage, 450 career receptions. You just got to take a step back and realize if a player averages, let's say, 11 games a season, 44 games, he's averaging 10 catches per game every game of his career. How impossible does that sound? I mean, yes, he gets some more, some less, but still, an average of that, Pat, is you just can't really fathom that kind of number in any division, and he does have the all-division record now at 450 for a career.
And don't forget to stay with us. We will be talking with Mike Zwiefel more in depth as the evening continues. We'll get a chance to talk to him and get more of his reaction to winning the 2011 Gagliardi Trophy. That's Michael Zwiefel, the wide receiver of the University of Dubuque, winning the 2011 Gagliardi Trophy. Outlasting the other finalists, Alex Tanney of Monmouth, Fritz Waldvogel of the University of St. Thomas, and Matt Blanchard of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. I'm Pat Coleman along with Frank Rossi. Thanks for joining us here on the Gagliardi Trophy presentation show. D3Football.com and Ustream. Dave McHugh, our producer tonight, and doing a great job as always. Thanks to our camera operators as well. And it's been a great night of Division III football, and it just kicks off the beginning of a great weekend of Division III as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. Tomorrow will be the Banquet of Champions, which is a dinner now with everything kind of moving around with the game now on Friday night. And then on Friday itself, it is the Stag Bowl. Stag Bowl 39. We'll be doing pre-show ourselves and everything. You'll want to go to the D3Football.com website to see that, obviously, the whole layout of events coming up throughout the week. But this really kicks things off the right way, Pat. The Gagliardi Trophy being awarded to a very, very deserving Michael Zwiefel.
Reactions from Twitter. Congratulations to a Whitewater native. Great player, great kid. That's something we haven't talked a whole lot about. He's a guy who came up around the Whitewater program. His dad, Stan Zwiefel, was the longtime offensive coordinator there, including the first 2 years that the Warhawks came here to Salem for the Stag Bowl. Then, Stan Zwiefel was, I guess, momentarily the offensive coordinator at River Falls, and Mike stuck around there for a couple years as Stan took a Division II job. But it's a guy who went to a place in River Falls where they're known for option, wishbone, run attack, and the transition started shortly before he got there. But to think of a kid who, I think if I remember correctly, as a freshman or sophomore, caught 90 passes for Wisconsin River Falls. For those of you who followed Division III in the 1990s, you wouldn't think that was even possible that they would complete 90 passes in a season, let alone to one person.
Yeah, and nonetheless, if there's anybody who's going to do it, it's Michael Zwiefel. You got to think that losing a player like that to graduation, you can't just replace that. And obviously next year it'll be interesting to see what they are able to do. And that's when you start to miss the players the most, or learn to appreciate them the most, is when you do see them off to graduation. And I know they probably don't want to lose them to that graduation, but guess what, folks? In the Iowa Conference, guess what? It's coming sooner rather than later.
So Mike Zwiefel spent 2 years at Wisconsin River Falls, transferred to Dubuque to follow his dad. Last year he played 3 or 4 games before he got injured, missed the rest of the season, had to work real hard during the offseason to get back into form, and he certainly did that this year to the tune of 140 catches.
And we're going to await him arriving on our position to talk to him a little bit, and stay tuned for that here again on Ustream. And I believe we're just a couple moments away. We're being whispered in our ear from our good producer, Dave McHugh. He's doing a great job, as you said, tonight. And again, we want to thank somebody that was recognized earlier, Carrie Harvey Cutter, who has done a great job. Director of Civic Events here in the city of Salem. Another great job here this evening. If you're ever able to get down here for the Stag Bowl or the men's Final Four in basketball, we do encourage you to do so. Always great events that they put on here in Salem, Virginia.
David Hookstead tweets, "I told you Zwiefel would win, never in question." All I can tell you is the guy was at the top of my ballot when I filled it out back on December 4th or December 5th. So I couldn't argue with you. I'd have to agree. To me, he was the complete package this year. Just to go on top of everything, the 3.9 GPA.
Well, he said he loves his major. He obviously performed well in it, and this is somebody that's going to be going places in life with the drive and motivation he has. And again, Michael Zwiefel named the Gagliardi Trophy winner here tonight for 2011, just about 10 minutes ago. He found out with the rest of us. There were only a handful of people, literally, that did know the result, yeah. Tom Woodward being one of them. I didn't want to know myself. We had opportunities to maybe find out, but whenever somebody got close enough, I said, I don't want to know, because you know what? It's a pleasure to get to know all 4 players and talk
Frank,
about it.
Be honest. You never had the opportunity to find out. They weren't going to tell us, well, just for the record.
I saw an envelope. I tried to steam it over. It was okay. Don't worry, folks. They didn't look.
Mike Zwiefel spent a lot of time over the course of his interview and his acceptance speech talking about his supporting cast. And you don't win a football award without having a lot of great players around you. And some of the other players who had played a great role in the University of Dubuque's run to the playoffs this year in the Iowa Conference title. DeMarcus Fleming, a wide receiver, 63 catches for 995 yards. That's pretty good for a number 1 receiver, let alone a number 2.
Yeah, when you look at the overall numbers, though, it's kind of a blow-away situation, especially when you look at the averages. Just something you just won't see again anytime soon, I don't think, in Division III or any level for that matter.
Miles Hookstead, tight end, 33 catches for 349 yards and 6 touchdowns. The run game led by Justin Spalding with 1,340 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns on the ground. And you can't be a standout wide receiver without a quarterback. And Wyatt Haynes with 44 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, completed 73% of his passes, and averaged 317 yards a game.
Yeah, he'll get some wins that way, no doubt. And they did have quite a great season this year. Obviously, I believe it was Wabash that knocked them out in the playoffs, but still, it's
North Central. But
excuse me, North Central. I was in the right bracket. It's been a long playoff
It's been
season.
a long bracket.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yep.
Nonetheless, North Central, good team, and not having experience in the playoffs, it doesn't make it easy when you first get there. But it was a pleasure for this team that does not have that experience to make it in the University of Dubuque.
And we'll be joined by Michael Zwiefel shortly. Get more of his reaction. Remember, he's the 2001 Gagliardi Trophy winner here from the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia, home of Stag Bowl since 1993. Well, Stag Bowl 39 on Friday night between the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater and the University of Mount Union. That game kicks off shortly after 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can listen to it right here on Ustream and D3Football.com. You can watch it on ESPN2 as well as ESPN3 online if you're so fortunate to have it. I'll be on the call. Keith McMillan, who you saw earlier, will be our color analyst, and Frank Rossi will be down on the sidelines for the 6th, 7th consecutive year, and we're about to be joined by Mike Zwiefel here.
We'll let him get up onto position with us and
Hi.
Be the first to shake his hands
Mike,
here.
congratulations, and good to see you again.
This is Pat Coleman. I'm Frank Rossi, and we want to congratulate you definitely on winning. What was your first reaction internally when you heard your name called?
Or what passed for your name?
Yeah, good point.
Just shocked and surprised and so honored to be selected for this award amongst, those finalists are incredible, and somehow for me to get selected is just awesome.
You know, the last time I saw you, Michael, you were surrounded on the field at the University of Dubuque by your family and friends, a large following contingent. I know, obviously, not many of them were here tonight, but do you have tell us some of the people who came with you this weekend?
My mom and dad, first and foremost, they came, and then our president and his wife, our executive of the board and his wife, our AD and his wife, and my Uncle Kim. So, and then two guys from our SID department. So, just a ton of people came and followed. It's incredible to have that support this far away from home.
Michael, you've been around Division III a long time. You grew up on the sidelines of Wisconsin-Whitewater when your dad was an assistant coach there, and you've been kind of, in a few different places in Division III. What does Division III football mean to you?
It's just a great opportunity. I think D3 sometimes gets a knack for not being, the greatest competition, but it really is. A lot of these kids are just maybe a little too small, a little too slow to play, D1, and they come to D3, and the two teams playing on Friday night are just incredibly good, and it's good competition, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Let's talk about something that didn't really get asked of you during the Q&A session. You're from Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Obviously, you see some faces out here wearing the purple that you probably grew up around. Were you a Whitewater fan when you were younger?
Of course, yeah.
And here you get to accept in front of that crowd, but you started in another Wisconsin school in River Falls. Then you end up going to Dubuque.
Just across the river from Wisconsin, Platteville.
True,
yeah.
but you know what? Not with the history. It's a risk in a lot of ways as a football player to go to a school like Dubuque if you're looking for, the recognition, etc. Any regrets at all? And does this award help, let's say, make it worth that jump if nothing else has in the past?
Oh yeah, I have no regrets. It was an extremely hard decision, but it just turned out for the best. I think the biggest award that I've been happy with is our conference championship. My dad said coming in that it's going to be a long haul and there'll be some growing pains, but when we won that conference title, everything just washes away. It's just incredible, and I'm happy with my decision.
Michael, I know you talked a little bit about your life after college, but are there any pro playing aspects or opportunities available to you? How does that look for you right now?
I'd like to, if I could play anywhere, and get paid a little bit instead of getting a job in the real world. I'd do that as long as possible. But I know the opportunities are kind of slim, so I'm gonna try. See if I get a tryout or a workout with the team, and then I'm applying to grad schools. So if nothing works out, I can fall back in grad school next fall.
Now, have you actually tried to lift up this award yet?
Yeah, it's heavy. They told me it was heavy, but once you actually lift it, there's no good way to get a hold on it, and it's heavy.
It will require a courier service to get back home with you. But are you gonna get to stay for the rest of the week to watch the events here?
Nope. Unfortunately, my flight home is tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Well, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Celebrate quickly.
Yeah.
Michael, last question for you, or it's not even a question really. I wanted to give you the opportunity to have the final say, give a final shout out into the camera to the folks watching at home.
I just want to thank all the support at the University of Dubuque. You guys are the best. I love it, and I can't wait to get back there and celebrate this with you guys.
Well, again, congratulations, Michael.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Michael,
a lot.
good to see you again. Again, congratulations. It's Michael Zwiefel, wide receiver of the University of Dubuque. He's the winner of the Gagliardi Trophy for the year 2011. For Frank Rossi and for Michael Zwiefel, as well as Keith McMillan and Dave McHugh, we'll be signing off here from the Salem Civic Center. The Gagliardi Trophy has been handed out, and Michael Zwiefel has it. Thank you, everybody, and good night.